Hello to the Better at School tribe, and thank you for visiting my new video blog. The reason I'm doing this today is that I just had this idea, and I thought, I don't want to wait and find time when I'm going to be able to type. I want to talk about it straight away, and it turns out that I can do a video blog, and I thought, yeah, that would be a good idea. It'll be a nice change. So here it is. I want to talk to you today about learning to fail and learning the hard way. I'm not going to tell you to actually make your kids fail, but I want to suggest that they really do need to learn to fail a little bit so that they can learn from their mistakes and then do a little bit better. This is where this came from. A few days ago I was talking to my dad, and he lives in a complex, and some people did a few things that they shouldn't have done, and then now they're in more trouble than that they could have been. Now it made me think, because I thought, these people did a few things, and I guess maybe before, there was always somebody to bail them out, or I don't know, they obviously didn't learn to fail. They didn't make small mistakes that taught them that if they do other things, then there's gonna be bigger mistakes, and then they're gonna pay a higher price. Now these people are in more trouble than they were expecting. And I'm thinking, I don't want kids to get to this kind of situation, because what you learn at school will apply to life. And so once you learn to make a small mistake, once you learn to fail slowly, you can think about it, and next time you're going to think, oh, wait a minute, I did that last time, that didn't work. Now if I keep doing that, the same thing's going to happen again, and then it's going to spiral, it's going to get worse. So here's the thing. I think that, for instance, if you know that your kids have a project and they've got like a couple of weeks to do it, just watch them do it the first time. Just, remind them, just be a good parent, be there and say, hey, there's this project that you have to do, do you remember that you have to work on it? And they'll say, yeah, I've got time. And, like most kids, because that's what happens nowadays, most kids will wait until 2 days before to start the project that they had 2 weeks to do. Now, some can pull it together, and it's okay, but a lot of the time, they're going to come back with a grade that maybe they'll be disappointed in, okay? Now, this is what I mean by learning to fail. Maybe they're going to get a C. A C is okay, it's still a pass, but it's not as good as an A. And maybe, deep inside they're going to think, I'm disappointed because I enjoy doing this project, even if, they took only a couple of days instead of spending the whole time they should have done. But then they might deep inside feel that they could have done better. And this is where you need to sit with them and say, listen, I've watched you, and I want to help you. I could have just been sitting on top of you and say, okay, you need to do that, you need to do this now, you need to go and buy this for the project, you need to sit down and do your research on the internet, whatever. But at a certain age, and even when kids are young, when I say at a certain age, I don't think it's when kids are able to look at their time and they know what they have to do. They don't always realize the consequences, and that's exactly why I want you to let them fail. Because then they can say, when you sit together with them after the grade is back, you can say, listen, I watched you do this. You had 2 weeks to do it. You waited until Wednesday to start something that was due on Friday. So you didn't have enough time. You did it fast, and you managed to do a fairly good job doing it fast, but of course, you didn't give it 100%. And then you give your kids a very good lesson to give 100% to everything and use their time wisely. And then next time when they do another project, when you say to them, hey, remember you have to work on this project, they're going to think about it. They're going to say, yeah, last time I didn't do as well as I could have done. And then when we talked about it, mom or dad made a very good point. So this is what I want you to work on. Let your kids fail every now and then. A bad grade is no big deal. But when you get a bad grade, you need to sit with your kids and say, okay, let's look at this. Why do you think that you got this bad grade? And, I can tell you, I always have a very good relationship with my kids at school, and whenever I see somebody that I know has better potential come back with a bad grade, I always ask them, what do you think you did? And 100% of the time, they all tell me, yeah, I could have studied more, I should have studied more, I know all that stuff. And I just wasn't well prepared. And most kids will know that, and at any age, even very young, when they're even 6 or 7, when I used to teach Spanish, to little kids like that, they would know if they hadn't studied enough, or if they hadn't done their drawing or whatever it was, if they hadn't put 100%. And that's really what learning to fail means. Learning to fail is not just accepting that you're a failure. That's not what I mean. A bad grade, a little mistake is no big deal. You're going to make plenty in your life. But learning to fail is really learning to use 100% of your potential, is learning to give yourself 100% to what you do. And that's a very, very good lesson that you need to start teaching your kids as soon as possible, as early as you can. And then it will help them for the rest of their lives. And when it comes to more important things, finances, relationships, then they're not going to fail, because they will know what it likes to fail a little, and they will not fail big. Okay? So try to think about this and help your kids that way, and you'll see that they'll be not only just better at school, but better in life too. Take care. Bye bye.